Leadership TV for God and country. Leadership TV for God and country.
Good morning. Welcome to another fresh edition of your favorite program on television, Inside Nigeria. Today is Thursday, December 14, 2023, and my name is Winifred Igbebo, your host on the program. On the review on Inside Nigeria, we review 4 headline stories on some select newspapers, including Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. That we have some papers on our menu today: Leadership, THISDAY, Daily Sun, The Punch, The Guardian, and Vanguard, all for review on this first segment of the show. Usually on the program, we like to flag off with Nigeria's most influential leadership. Leadership's leading story says integrated payment system. Federal government placates lecturers, takes Varsities, orders off IPPIS. Integrated payment system. Federal government placates lecturers, takes Varsities, orders off IPPIS. Institutions can now handle staff remunerations. We are not excited. We wait for confirmation. ASU. 686 civil servant salaries topped over unverified records. Of course, the picture on today's Leadership, as well as on some other papers, is the bulldozers, is the pulling down of Rivers State House of Assembly complex yesterday. Drone attack. We are not part of 33 billion naira suit against federal government. Tudunbiri residents say. Drone attack. We are not part of 33 billion naira suit against federal government. Tudunbiri residents. CJN to judges. Don't allow anyone influence your judgments. Ason is born Kano Council Secretariat. Destroy vehicles. Rivers crisis, 2 defected lawmakers now undecided, in quote. 2 defected lawmakers now undecided. The story continues on page 7 of Leadership. Cash crunch persists despite 3.3 trillion naira in circulation. Cash crunch persists despite 3.3 trillion naira in circulation. The story is on page 47 of Leadership. And above the masthead of Leadership, Leadership's Person of the Year award, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says he's deeply honored by 2023 Person of the Year award. We want to see more on that as you log on to the website of Leadership. But just before we leave Leadership newspaper, we move to our stand. Our stand today is on illegal mining and terrorism. Illegal mining and terrorism. That is our stand. From our stand, we move to the back page of the paper, being blunt with Muazu Elize as Wike and Fubara square up. For Ghana Must Go, we have airlines to start paying passengers for delayed cancelled flights. Federal government. And of course, Ghana Must Go asks, can that start today? Find out more as you log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership newspaper, we have THISDAY. This is still on the imbroglio or impasse in Rivers State. And that's the leading story. Fubara asserts control in Rivers. Presents 2024 budget to 4-member assembly. Fubara asserts control in Rivers. Presents 2024 budget to 4-member assembly. Demolishes bombed legislative complex for reconstruction. Federal government denies involvement in state's political crisis. 27 defector lawmakers ousted by legislature. Falana, INEC required to conduct fresh elections. Beneath that, we have Tinubu approves leadership changes in aviation and aerospace development for starters. The story is on page 32 of THISDAY. And above, just beneath the masthead of THISDAY, with 4 soldiers killed, 2 Koreans kidnapped. Security concerns mount in rivers. Oil production may be impacted if crisis persists. And Kyo Briggs one situation may engulf Nigeria president. The story, though, starts on the cover. It continues on page 12 of this day. And above the masthead, Sanwo-Olu presents 2.246 trillion naira 2024 appropriation bill to Lagos Assembly. Economic protection takes priority. Capital expenditure to GOP 1.224 trillion naira. Has promises to monitor implementation. Climate change, nearly 200 countries agree historic deal to reduce fossil fuel consumption. That's a story that continues on page 6 of this day. Now, for continuation of these headline stories, inside stories, and the editorial, log on to the website of this day, www.thisdaylive.com. Daily Sun has similar story. Rivers crisis, Fubara draws battle lines. Rivers crisis, Fubara draws battle lines. Demolish assembly complex, moves against defecting lawmakers. 4 loyal lawmakers expel colleagues as government presents 2024 appropriation bill to assembly. Count us out of crisis, federal government. Don't take your appointment for granted, CJ enters FHC judges, that is Federal High Court judges. U.S. lawmaker urges Supreme Court to release Kanu unconditionally. Prove you are not pursuing ethnic cleansing. IPOP tells Tinubu. Tinubu approves sack, suspension, replacement of aviation chiefs. Borno Governor Zulum plans to spend 340.5 billion naira in 2024. Sanwo-Olu presents 2.2 trillion naira 2024 budget to Assembly. NNPCL generates 4.5 trillion naira revenue for government in 10 months. Of course, the second leading story on Daily Sun says, "Will end insurgency, terrorism simultaneously," Defense Minister. Federal government removes Varsities Policy College of Education from IPPIS. The story continues on 28th of Daily Sun. And of course, that story is the leading story on leadership. Last story today on Daily Sun says, COP28, nation strike deal to end consumption of fossil fuels. Is on page 27 of Daily Sun. For more, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, the Punch newspaper is next on our review, and of course, it's still the same Rivers story. Punch says Rivers demolishes assembly. Pro-Fubara speaker declares defector seats vacant. Rivers demolishes assembly. Pro-Fubara speaker declares defector seats vacant. Government justifies assembly demolition, says complex not suitable for legislative business. PDP directs legal advisor to sue defectors. Governor Fubara afraid of his shadow, says APC. And just like leadership, we have the picture of the demolition exercise yesterday in Rivers State. NNPCL not transparent on subsidy dollar revenues. World Bank. Cardinal bombing. Military raises 8-man panel. Villagers disown 33 billion naira seat. Over 120,000 Borno refugees stranded in Niger Republic. Zulum. Tinubu sacks 5 aviation agencies heads. Suspends NCAA boss. IPPIS. ASU hates federal government as FEC removes Varsities orders. Government kill woman adult 7 on a Lagos Ibadan expressway. Government kill woman adult 7 on Lagos Ibadan expressway. These are the headline stories on the Punch. For more, log on to the website of the Punch. From the Punch, Vanguard is next. Vanguard is on a different story. 4 Nigerians hit 104 million. World Bank. 4 Nigerians hit 104 million. World Bank. Asks NNPC to publish account revenue flow. NNPC earnings under scrutiny. Edu. Eyes Nigerians holding large forests in domiciliary accounts. Industry Minister counters World Bank on power subsidy. And of course, we have picture of Rivers State House of Assembly complex, which was demolished yesterday. to pave way to pay for reconstruction. Rivers crisis, state government demolishes assembly complex. Tinubu sacks FAN, NAMA, NSIB, NIMET DGs. Suspends NCAA DG, removes NCAT rector. That is NCAT rector. Sports, CAF Awards is a wake-up call for more investment in sports. Senate. CBN blames scarcity of banknotes on hoarding. 2024 Lagos Borno Rivers proposed 3.387 trillion naira budget. Error bombings, survivors drag federal government to court, seek 33 billion naira compensation. Ohaneze IPOB beg Tinubu to free Kanu. These are the leading stories on Vanguard. For more, you log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper, which brings us to the last paper on our menu today on Thursday's newspaper review, and that is The Guardian. Guardian's leading story says national statistics, population outgrows economy amid rising dependence misery. National statistics, population outgrows economy amid rising dependence misery. Of course, we have a graphic illustration for that headline story. We have Nigeria in numbers. 2012, we have Nigeria was 167 million. It experienced 30% growth in 10 years to 2022, 216.78 million. It also, under US projection, the population is estimated to hit 400 million in 2050. Debt service to revenue ratio is 101.5%. Stock of CBN overdraft to federal government is 26 trillion naira. That is 11% of 2023 projected GDP. Beneath that headline story, we have police neutralized 13 kidnappers, rescue 263 victims in Katsina. Tinubu sacks heads of aviation agencies. PEC approves 6.32 billion naira contracts. Fubara bears fines, demolishes assembly complex, presents 2024 budget to 4 lawmakers. Unions hail federal government's exemption of universities, police orders from IPPIS. No going back on concession of international airports, Keyamo insists. Sanwo-Olu presents 2.2 trillion naira 2024 budget to assembly. 3 feared dead in Ekiti bank robbery. These are the headline stories on today's The Guardian, Thursday, December 14, 2023. For more stories on The Guardian, continuation of these headline stories, log on to the website www.guardian.ng. Well, viewers, this is where we end the first segment of the show, newspaper review. Don't forget, we have second segment coming up with the guests already in the house. Don't go away. My name is Winifred. Welcome back. The program is Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. It's your breakfast show where we review and discuss front page headline stories. My name is Winifred once again, and as you can see, I have with me in the studio already seated my birthday guest. He is a political economist and a public affairs analyst at Demi Olamilekon Adebolare. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me.
And welcome to the program. Yes, I think let's start with leadership newspapers. So many interesting stories. Of course, other papers are leading with the rivers impasse ongoing. But however, let's take it from leadership. Leadership's leading story says integrated payment system. Federal government placates lecturers, takes Varsities, orders of IPPIS. Now, this cheering news for universities because this is what they have always seek for. Desired all this, it was actually part of their protest conditionalities all the while they've been going on protest, and now federal government, placating them, has decided to yank them off IPPIS. Now, Olamilekon, is this the road to independence that the federal government is seeking for universities?
I think practically what the president said about when someone was presenting at one of the university competitions said to give the university autonomy power regarding how they are going to be employing people and how their salary is going to come in. Stuff.
Yeah.
These are the key how they are going to be spending their money in terms of research and the rest of them. So we are hoping that maybe the third leg of it is the research we have gotten to now.
Now, what about the issue of because we're talking about independence? When we are giving independence, it also comes with a price, and that is that of revenue generation.
That is the spending of the money. Now we are waiting for the third aspect of it. Yes, how they're going to make money and how they're going to spend it. Spending it. The first one is
but now, if the federal government is giving them this autonomy, what happens to government intervention agencies like TED Fund? Because TED Fund has been in the forefront of providing infrastructure, even providing resources for lecturers for research in universities. So what is going to happen to TED Fund?
For me, my understanding of this autonomy will not deny them of this intervention from government.
Okay. Government will continue to provide this intervention.
But key aspect of their autonomy, which they have been fighting for, basically it's about how they recruit. You know, they are under the instruction and guidance of the head of service when it comes to recruitment. They have to get approval, do this before they now have that power to recruit. But they will still be guided by NUC, National University Commission. Not just only them, including Polytechnic and the rest of them. All of them
the colleges of education
have now been bundled out of that challenge. They can not just IP. I'm coming to IPPIS. I'm talking about the recruitment because if you see a report by Guardian about 3 weeks ago talks about the stifled unemployment issue in the university system, whereby the japaism of peace.
Oh yes, and but I was coming to that. The universities they also have control over tertiary, their hospitals, teaching hospitals, right?
Exactly.
Like I did raise alarm even since last year that since the JACBA, some of the doctors left, and we even had a report 2 weeks ago that in Unilag some outpatients wards have been closed because the doctors have left there, and because of the federal government rules, they cannot really employ these doctors to fill the space of this one.
Exactly.
So does it extend to that?
No, it extends to that. Now what will happen is that the university can now recruit.
Okay.
And we should be expecting a lot of advert in terms of equipment of lecturers to feed vacancies that are existing. Now the IPPIS has been the issue that ASU put on its own head and trying to fight for. Now it has been unbundled. University lecturers are no more under IPPIS. That means they can now get their salary directly on their payroll system that each university is going to have. University of Lagos, University, all of them will now have their own payroll system. They can now pay who is working for them. But what we will now have to charge these university managers is that please avoid ghost workers, avoid ghost issues.
Yes, sadly, because the state government of Edo State government actually set up a panel to look, and we saw
a lot of ghost
these leads exactly that somebody went, lecturers will go on sabbatical, his salary was being paid, he was still receiving so much sleaze going on. So what is going to happen? Because at the end of the day, now that it's okay, you universities go and do what you think they fit. Are we not going to have so much?
Definitely, I think the rule that guides sabbatical is very clear. If you go on sabbatical, it's that salary. Collect.
It's like from the panel report that the lecturers were still collecting money, and they were collecting, even the university, that is the ECOMO, was still admitting students in medical
Faculty and university.
medical faculty, when they know very well that they have just a little quota
to
admit, but they were collecting money. It was quite a sleaze, and I wonder why the governor has not done anything about it. So how can we actually, you discover that with what was unnetted by the panel in that Ambosali University, there's so much rot in the system, especially not just in the university system. Corruption is endemic in Nigeria,
and that's
in
why
every facets of life.
The thing is that when it comes to that aspect of welfare for workers, that we now have corruption coming out of salaries being paid to workers, that ghost worker, it brings me to the issue of the unions. What are the unions doing? Because the union also enjoy part of it, because dues are also paid. That's why, if you remember what happened between teachers union and some workers union in Kaduna State and everybody, it was about telling them that this is the number of workers that we have, and this is what we are spending in terms of monthly capital for recurrent expenditure for salaries, and it is not supposed to be. And the union went agog and begin to quarrel and begin to fight, because they know that if it does that, if it streamline the numbers of workers and get the accurate data, that means what they have been enjoying as largesse, as dues, will not come to them. That's why they fight. Although we also understand the other aspect whereby we don't want people to be victimized. We got it.
But with this autonomy, because I just feel that maybe it's check and balance need to be put in place, because we had a situation whereby even TED Fund at a time said when lecturers, because they actually provide funds for sponsorship of some for them to go on sponsorship to other universities, Ivy League universities, for further studies. But you have these lecturers collecting this money, and instead of going to these Ivy League universities, we go to just a nearby university, pocket, have the balance and pocket it without going to these universities they were supposed to go, which was approved for them, and with the same funds too. So corruption. So how can you stem that? So the fund said they now devise a means of paying, obviously paying to their universities, who will now sponsor them. So at the end of the day, what are we going to have now that universities just in control of everything, or they are independent now?
The key message is now we now need to have CSO.
Well, that is my worry.
CSO for me, CSO, intellectual think tank organization, and the unions themselves in the university now to have a keep watch on their university managers, the vice chancellor, the admin, the finance, everything that they must watch them. And the university also must show transparency and accountability in whatever they must be open. And that open door policy.
My worry. How open are they?
But the problem is this: when a BC is having a robust relationship with unions and everything is working so that means that everybody will keep quiet. But the moment we open their books and discover there is abnormality, we discover that the union wants to support them. We just hope that the union also be well integrity to kick against any abnormality in the university system. Because now that autonomy is coming, autonomy means that more money will come, more opportunity to spend.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
More money.
Yes, more money will come. When you're autonomy, you have the autonomy. The autonomy signifies
you
generate your own fund, you spend it the way you want to spend it, then you give account of it how you are expected to give account.
But federal government said they're supposed to remit 40. Is it 40%?
No, they have nullified that.
Okay, they have nullified it.
They are not under any tax obligation to remit.
So they have to spend it on the.
They have to spend it on them. But what I will be expecting is that money, instead of saying you don't pay that 40% to us, use that 40% for your research development.
Not that they are autonomous. Sorry, it just occurred to me. Is the federal government still responsible for their salary?
Definitely, it will still be. That's why it's not something that will keep the federal government away from running the universities. It only give them that international standard operation of our universities in other clubs. In US, the government of US is spending money on the universities. You get it? Not that the government will move its hand totally from spending, but we'll still budget for them. We'll still give them those international funding. But when it now comes to when we give them the money, they will not begin to say, how did you spend the money? That government will not have access to.
Really?
That's what the autonomy means. You make your money, you spend it, but when need arise that we need to check your book, you bring it up, but not for the government to put pressure on them the way it is being done recently or currently. And that's what the autonomy means.
So with what federal government, this olive that federal government is offering them, what are we going to be seeing in the universities?
I think for me, I have to have a very great work to do now. Now that the autonomy have come into phase, the third phase is what we're expecting in terms of how they're going to, make that money and put it back in research. IPPIS, they have been moved, then how to recruit them. And these are the two major challenges of ASU. So ASU need to now put an eye on the university manager, the vice chancellor, the governing board, and every key management team on the university also have to keep an eye on them and see what they are doing. I think that integrity that actually is talking about, it is now they have to put it to watch. If they don't put it to watch, that means the vice chancellor can buy them into his pocket and everything can become as usual. And most times you see this kind of challenge in state university. Although this law does not apply to state university.
No, it doesn't.
It's for federal university. So it is only federal government invested, about 48 of them that have been put under this particular umbrella of policy, which will hope that ASU will now sit right and checkmate the activities of the vice. That's where I have issue. Not just ASU, including CSO and the rest of them. Think tank organization that can also put an eye on what the university managers do. It will go a long way to help us, so that issue of missing fund or misappropriation of fund or embezzlement of funds will not come into play.
All right. So that one also put paid. This will also put paid to incessant strike.
It may not necessarily end strike, because the strike issue have multi-leg. They talk about other issues that are expecting government to support. I think it has addressed some of the major reasons that where, as you can see, we are going on strike. We don't want to be on IPPIS, and we cannot recruit, whatever. It has moved it. Now, the other one, which I'm hoping that the government will now come out and say, okay, the money you are making, make the money and put it in certain things that will help the investing. I think that will go a long way to also reduce the strike issue.
Would the university want to? Maybe they also want the federal government to come and do that for them.
To help them arrange how they are going to be making money when you are recruiting, when you are giving people admission in thousands, when you are putting charges on your school.
No, it's not going to also impact on the school fees. Since they have to generate their own revenue.
It not necessarily mean they are going to increase fee, because right now they have introduced all manner of fee charges. They call it admission fee. They call it online fee. They also call it what they call acceptance fee. I think that acceptance fee is where they are having issues that many people. I think the government just have to sit right and talk about that. Acceptance fee is even higher than the school fees.
How much is that?
Some people are paying 60, 70, 80,000 as acceptance fee. You get it? And that's what they will tell you is a compulsory one. If they give you acceptance fee, you pay it before you go for screening. Or some will say, okay, you do screening before you pay your acceptance fee. When you pay the money, that is it. And the money is even higher than some school fees. So what I want to beg the government to look into that acceptance fee is abnormal. There's nothing like acceptance fee. And acceptance fee that you'll be asking students to pay 50,000, 100,000 for what? You get it? And again, another aspect is what they call defense money at postgraduate level. Now that with defense money, you see some lecturers saying that when the university collect that money, they don't give them, they give them 50,000 to supervise the student. Meanwhile, the student that is paying for that money. So we should draw a conclusion. Do students need to be paying for defense at their postgraduate level?
No.
Or because government is already making provision for all those things in terms of what they give them as lecturers. So we just hope that all these things can be streamlined, that we can have a direction on how to run our higher institution, not just investing in polytechnic and private education inclusive.
All right. Thank you so much. That is that for leadership today. Another story that is also making streaming headline is that of Vanguard. Four Nigerians hit 104 million. That is according to World Bank. It was at a meeting yesterday in Abuja. And of course, the same World Bank in another newspaper said Nigerians were paying less than what is supposed to be obtainable for fuel. And that fuel rate price should be raised to over 700 naira. What do you have to say to that? I mean, we were like pay more than 650 presently.
I think for the World Bank, they are just doing the international bidding for international oil companies and the price of energy across the world. That's what they are just putting across, because if we do a comparison between Nigerian oil price or energy price, you discover that it's quite lower than what is expected at international level. But we know that in our own climate, we have this product, but we don't produce it, we don't refine it. And that's why we are even having this higher price. But then they are looking at the higher price that will help us to earn more. That's what the World Bank is looking at. If we earn more, we can.
But however, how can there be, how do you call it, policy without human face? Considering even the same World Bank said poor Nigerians hit 104 million. And at the same time, when we have an impoverished economy, the World Bank is saying that we should also increase pump price. Fuel pump price. Does it?
It's something that as an economist, I will explain it this way. They expect that also any from oil is supposed to translate and materialize into poverty reduction. But the case is not.
It's not the same.
Now we are having a lower price, we still having poverty, and we are earning more, we still have a lower poverty. For them, it is like the wisdom is that increase the price, earn more money, and put into a poverty reduction program that can help people. But we know that naturally, for every African man, for every Nigerian, the more government earn, the more the people go into poverty. Because the money is not going to everybody. The money is just going to the few pockets. But World Bank himself know that this is what is happening. So for me, I did not expect them to say this based on the material condition of the Nigerian state.
Presently.
But they're only using the international standard to say, okay, this is what is obtained internationally. So we can do this. But we know that if we do that, we're only impoverishing our people more, because the more we increase the fuel price, the more high cost of living will be so much.
Yes, and of course, just in tally with what you just said, the Guardian's headline story: population outgrows economy amid rising dependence misery.
Because at the end of the day, we see that a lot of Nigerians have gone down into poverty. A lot of people are into dependence. People are sending text message, email message, please help me with urgent. No more urgent 2K now, because 2K cannot go anywhere. It's now urgent 5K or it's now urgent 10K. Okay, borrow me money from now to next day. When I'll pay you back. So that dependency nature of Nigerians have gone so high that households are now depending on a fellow household that they believe that is having more. And that is the level that we are found ourselves. And the reason is because the trickle effect of government policy is not coming to the bottom. It is just ending at just the highest. It ends at the upper urban or upper class. When I mean upper class, we have upper class, we have lower upper class. Then it ends at upper class. Other upper class are those ones that are SA, PA, to 1 DG or the rest of them. Then the upper and the higher class, the elite class, are the political class, the economic class, the Dangote of this world, who have everything to them. So the people working for them directly, their accountant, their consultant, are the upper class. Then the lower one are the ones that serving the upper class, that also do one or two service for the upper class. Then those of us at the bottom level,
the one that is feeling the pant
of whatever is coming down from their table.
It's really, really sad and unfortunate. But one other thing again, which one of the papers came up with last week, was that despite a few subsidy removal, they are still smuggling
serious one
to neighboring countries.
Exactly.
So what is happening? Does it mean that even with the high pump price of 650 naira, it's still higher in neighboring countries?
Definitely, that's the summary of it, because 650 in Nigeria is like 900 in their place, or 1,000 plus in their place. So imagine we now take it to 700, that's what Bank is suggesting. It means you end up with 1,500 in their place. And smuggling is a very quick fix or quick way of making money for people who are into it. They make double of whatever, just like what is happening in the forex. You buy cheap $1, you sell it high. The same thing is smuggling. And in Nigerian ways that we have not been able to tackle it, because even government officials are also participating in it. Although smuggling is even happening, I won't call it smuggling, they call it diversion.
Yes.
And diversion is even happening among us, whereby a filling station where it's coming,
they will divert it to
another filling station. There are some people that collect license for DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources, in the name of building filling station. They don't put that fuel in their tank in their filling station. Rather, they just buy and sell it to the nearest filling station that is very close by at higher price. Now, before the tanker was 21 million. Then as a result of this particular increase in price, about 38 million, 42 million for a tanker. Imagine you buy it at that 42 million, you bring it out and sell it at 55 million. You know what it means? Within a twinkling of an eye, you have made over 6 million naira.
Yes,
instead of you putting it in your filling station, boiling for only generator, paying people salary. So just find a quick means of making quick money. And that's what Nigerians have done. The same thing with smuggling. They take it out, they sell it, and come back and get more money. So
but with all this, brother, don't talk about stemming smuggling. How come Nigerians not really focused there? Although you said you just said that even government officials are.
They do now. The people, the security at the border, what are they doing? Although we have been told that we have over 1,100 unmanned border across the country. So, and some communities are like, even if you see them, some will tell you they are Nigerians, some are. So how do you? And there was an argument that how do we service our border communities when those border communities are more or less like interior part of our country? So the only way those border communities can be serviced through PMS is that they buy from the city center, take it to them through motorcycle or through vehicle, and they sell it at black market. So from that angle, those ones also enter the neighboring country. So when security agencies are trying to stop this this community trading, it's like you are suffering them. I remember when Buhari closed the border, someone was even fighting seriously that because it's from that community, was writing epistle in national daily that his community has been denied of trade and the rest of them because the community produced tomato Now tomato from his community that is a border community cannot be brought into the city center, and because of that they have issue, and the people are begging, so the government should find a way to stop all this. So this thing also apply to people in this regard, because those border community, they don't have filling station. So the only way is to go to the city center, bring it, and without opportunity, they smuggle it to other neighboring countries.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, with poor Nigerians hitting about 104 million, what can be done about it? Because we saw a story report yesterday that the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Better Edu, did say that about 560 something billion that is too small to tackle poverty in Nigeria. The question but now, first and foremost, do you agree with her?
I don't want to agree with her. Because first and foremost, as an economy, there's no amount of money you want to throw to solve the poverty that will throwing money that poverty doesn't solve the problem. There are critical infrastructure you're supposed to provide. Has anybody asked her that our predecessors spent 1.7 trillion on the same poverty reduction? I never. So is it whatever? It's not about the amount of, it's the strategic use of the money. And what she's doing is nothing but cosmetic and ad hoc policies. They are giving 109 market in the one and senatorial district. Market traders will pay women 50,000. Women that you give money today, tomorrow they'll tell you they have never received anything from government. 50,000 you give it to them, they will not put into the business. They'll go and put it to buy a shirt for one marriage. They are some immediate problem with it. Now you are giving them 50,000. You are going to give family 25,000 naira for 3 months. That 25,000 you take to the market, they cannot even buy them half bag of rice. Or if you buy the half bag of rice, they will not get maggi, they will not get salt, they will not get yam to add to it. They will not even get gas or charcoal to do it. So when government think of just throwing money at poverty, for me it is like you are just gathering that money to give to your associates.
Approach.
Yes, you gather that money and give it to your associate. Now the better I do that is trying to do this project with 594 billion that says not enough. There will be contractors, there will be consultants, there will be individual groups, there will be now 594
that will take out of that money.
Consultant will be charging you, and you'll be doing so many things. Program events, to organize one event in state will not cost the ministry not less than 8 million naira. You rent tent, you hire canopy, you call DJ, you call sound system, and you just hire. Maybe you guys will not allow me to mention name. Those event managers, one show alone is more than 15 million, and you'll be doing them in name of sharing money to people. By the time you do 10. Out of how much has gone out of the money. So for me, it is not the money, it is just the strategic use of how to engage the people in productivity. When you better do and his ministry set up cottage industry, plain water factory in some locality that will ever know that the people are working and they are earning salary and they are getting production and they are adding to the GDP of the country, then you are just giving them money. Is it not better? And that is the best way. Or you go and put borehole in different strategic community and they are selling it and they are bringing money. They are adding back to the value to the society through GDP production. And that is it. Not that you are going to gather people and be giving them. Because from experience in Obasanjo era, any money government devoted to poverty, it ends up in the party men hand. That is just it.
Yes,
you can't deny that. And that is what this part of this money will go into.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and also providing a solution to that. Yes, just before we go, another developing story that is brewing, and that is in Rivers State demolition yesterday. And prior to that, we had 27 lawmakers who are loyal to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike defecting to the ruling party APC. We've not seen the end of it
at all.
So what's your take
for me
on the brouhaha
taking
place there?
For me, I stated yesterday on the sister station, 2 heads doesn't make the right. Both ends are wrong. The supporters of the former governor and the current governor are right. And the bad aspect of it was when the governor wanna ask for a demolition of the state assembly. That's very wrong.
Well, we're just talking about poverty. So you can imagine how much again is going to be plugged in to rebuild it.
And again, the governor is behaving like someone that believes that state has money. The United States has money. So to call 10
it's also one of the top indebted states.
Yes,
Nigeria.
They can pay the money after they are earning a lot from VAT, from oil, revenue. So for me, it's just a waste of money. Something that will now take this kind of nature, you went and demolished, and you want to repeat. Now a contractor will be asked to come and bid and be sure that it is a party man that will win that contract. And someone told me that this state house of assembly is still the best in the entire Nigeria when it comes to state. They say they build it in a form of National Assembly here in Abuja, that everywhere is computerized and automated. That is how the state assembly.
Wow.
And that's why they have
and that's what they just acknowledged.
They have two wings. They have when this one got burnt, the other wing they were using was also part of it, and that one too was also demolished alongside of this one. So for me, it's just like a waste of state resources. But the government should just learn. And even the master himself, the Godfather, also should just tamper justice with mercy. And just someone suggested that the way they treated Ambode would have been better for him. He would just have kept quiet and wait for the second time election to come. But the other angle is this: if he kept quiet till that time, this guy would have acquired a lot of power. And even if PDP they are not giving him ticket, he can find a way to another party. Just like what happened to
Obaseki
and get it done.
But in your view, do you think there will come a time there will be an end to godfatherism in Nigerian politics?
Has it ever ended even in the US? Right now, as we're speaking, Trump is having issue in the US. He's fighting the Democratic people, but his people are supporting, the Republicans are supporting. Tomorrow or today, there's going to be a decision by the Supreme Court on the laws they are using to fight Trump over his Trump charges of Capitol riots. You can see what is up. So, godfatherism across the world exists. There's no way you can fight. It's part and parcel of democracy. If you know something you posted to me yesterday about democracy,
Yes.
he can tell you that democracy have a lot of godfatherism that is in it. So, the more you are trying to unveil democracy, the more you find it difficult to understand how it works, and that's where godfatherism comes into place.
All right, thank you so much. Now, what do you see playing out? Can you just, what do you see playing out in this Rivers imbroglio?
I think from the start, it's about structure, and the structure is people. As it stands right now, Simi Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, want to have his own people that he can appoint into juicy offices. That is the simple fact about it. Meanwhile, the former governor also have his own people they has positioned to take those juicy offices. Because what is there is that political fund, you don't have any means of getting political fund than from public fund. So it is public fund that is being used for political fund. So it's all about how we are going to gather money for the next election. And to gather money for the next election for 2027, it will strategically put people in choice position who will help us to wave in that money, who will pay their monthly dues to the political party, who will also gain contract or win contract, who will also help us to recruit individuals into government offices so that we continue to oil the process of political strength in the state. And that's what it just has. So it's all about public fund and political fund. Who is going to help us to be able to bring it together? And if we know, that we know, we will always want political fund to be from Rivers State. So if people out of the Rivers State,
considering the amount of money,
where will you get the political fund from? Get it. So we must reason in that way.
Definitely not from Abuja.
Exactly.
Wow, that is a good one. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for
I look forward to having you same time next week on the program. Well, viewers, you've had the pleasure of political economist, public affairs analyst Olamilekan Adefolari in the studio today. My name is Winifred Ugwebo, and of course, on this note, we've come to the end of today's Thursday edition of Inside Nigeria, brought to you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ugwebo. See you tomorrow, same station, same time.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast